I'd like to call the meeting of the North Providence Town Council to order. Please stand and salute the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence. Please be seated. The first item on the agenda is the acceptance of the meeting minutes. The minutes from September 2nd, 2014 to be accepted and approved by the council. I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
A motion been made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 2, convene an executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law, Sections 42, 46-40, 42-46-5A and 5 for a discussion and possible vote regarding the acquisition of property for public purposes owned by Foxfield LLC located between Plimpton and Pear Streets, currently designated as lots 197 through 217, 246, 258, 259, and 319 through 331 on Tax Assessor Plat 22A. I'll entertain that motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Executive session. The council is now moving into open session for the remainder of the meeting. Item number 4 on the agenda, report out the votes that were taken in executive session. A motion to purchase the land for $1.245 million per the agreement presented using the town's surplus, authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement. The motion passed, a 5-2 vote. The second motion that was made was we made a motion to seal the executive session minutes. That motion was 7-0. Item number 6 on the agenda. Item number 5, we received a motion from the council to seal the executive session minutes pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 4246-4, 4246-5, 4246-7. I'll entertain that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Discussion and possible vote with regard to the acquisition of property for public purposes owned by Foxfield LLC, located between Plimpton and Pear Street, currently designated at lots 197 through 217, 246, 258, 259, and 319 through 331 on tax assessor plat 22A.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Councilman Audiello? Councilwoman Brady? All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. Item number 7. I know. Did you can come up?
So I just want to make sure I'm in order. That was for discussion for the purchase, correct? That what you just stated?
Yes.
Okay. So we're, the administration, I want to be part of the record, is in favor of purchasing this property. My question is the method of financing. Is the council still in favor of purchasing this property with Google funds or with town funds that we do not have? So how is the council planning to purchase this property? What's the method of financing?
The method that we have spoken about through our surplus monies, because like we had discussed before, if we were to use and ask the Department of Justice for the money to purchase the land, we would have to tell them that we are building a safety complex on that land. And a safety complex has not come before the council to take a vote on. So we can't lie to the Department of Justice and say that we know we're building a safety complex. Once that comes before the council for approval and the public, for them to give their public opinion and questions and anything they have, you know, to look at the renderings that you may have, then if it's decided in a favorable manner, then the Google funds would be able to pay back the purchase of the land. But until that point, you can't tell the Department of Justice that we're building a building there if we don't have that answer yet.
We have asked the Department of Justice for a waiver to allow that land to be used and purchased for the sole purpose of a public safety complex. And the waiver that they had granted us at the time was because we asked them if we could also use it for fire construction, where normally those funds are supposedly only used for police spending. They have granted us a waiver. I think we had brought this to the council to allow us to utilize that property also, and including fire. So at this point in time, my only question would be, if we weren't going to use that property for public safety purposes. I know at one point you had mentioned maybe school use, but I think the last, the drawings and the information we received from the Rhode Island Department of Education was to not utilize that property for school use or educational building. So that being the question is that I just want to be on the record to state to this council that to not seek the funds from the Google settlement and move forward with the purchase and also to build only a public safety complex, I think is the wrong thing to do. And that's my opinion. I just want to be on the record to state that if we're going to purchase this property, we have $38 million sitting on the table, and at no cost to the taxpayers, by the way. No cost to the taxpayers. So just want to make that as part of the record. Thank you.
You've never given this council the opportunity to approve a safety complex, and that's a capital project. It's a capital expenditure. And, you know, we read about spending $20 million to purchase a safety complex. The residents don't know if a fire station is closing. Residents who live up there don't know anything about blasting. We haven't seen any renderings. I welcome you to come to the council with the whole project, because I'm not in favor or not in favor of it. I just want to see the plan. So once the plan is in place and presented to the council, and you know, your conviction is good to the council and the residents, why a public safety complex is needed, that's great. But we've never been presented that plan. So we may agree to disagree, but as soon as you give us that plan, and if it's approved, the quicker that money will go back if it's approved.
So let me ask you, so you don't know if you're in favor of a new public safety complex or not?
Well, I haven't seen any of the renderings.
No, forget the renderings. Are you in favor of the concept of a new public safety complex? I think that's the question, not the renderings. You know, I might like brick and you might like wood, and then we're going to get into a conflict. All I'm asking is, are you in favor of a new state-of-the-art police and fire safety complex in the center of town across the street from the high school? I think that is the question, not if you saw drawings, not what it's going to look like. I'd be glad to let you pick the coloring of the building. I don't know anyone that would, you know, that's not even the issue here. The issue is, okay, are we in favor of a new state-of-the-art police and fire headquarters? I think that's the question, not, well, we haven't seen any drawings. I don't know. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe you could help me, Dick.
Well, here's, the school department wants to build new schools, and all of us, including yourself, Chief Forza, Councilman Lynch, Mr. Floriani, Mr. Pilata, there's a lot of people in that committee. And what the school department did was they formed a building facilities committee. And they had public meetings to talk about their capital improvement project. So any capital improvement project should have a building facilities committee. And it has to go through all the proper steps. It's even in the federal guidelines that a committee should be formed if you're putting up a building. And even the chief had told us that he's looking to form a committee. That's really the issue. It's not whether or not anyone can sit up here and say they're in favor of it or not. I think once it comes on the agenda as a public meeting so the public can ask questions whether or not they want to spend $20 million on a public safety complex, that's what the issue is. You know, so we're not saying we are or we're not because it never came to the body to ask us. So we welcome that. We welcome you to bring all that information to the council and to have all the residents ask their questions on the building.
I think that might be putting the cart before the horse. We can't do anything until we know we're going to have the land, and to purchase the land at the cost of the taxpayers when we have the opportunity to purchase this property and no cost to the taxpayers, I think it's just unfair.
But you can't tell the Department of Justice that you got approval to build a building.
Madam Chairman,
you can't tell them you got approval
if I
because
may,
we never
Madam
did.
Chairman, Madam Chairman, if I may. When we received the Google funds, we weren't supposed to fund the police pension fund either. It took us a year to get that okayed, okay, maybe even more. So there are certain things you could do with the Google money and certain things you can't do. They gave us an exception to put a public safety building in there that would include the fire department. I just want to say this up front. To use town money to purchase that land in lieu of using free Google money, which will have no impact on the tax rate of the people of the town of North Providence, is totally irresponsible. Totally, totally irresponsible. And personally, it's not even honest to say, well, we'll purchase it with the surplus money, and then if we build a police fire complex there, then we'll pay it off with the Google money. Why don't we do it the other way around? Let's purchase it with the Google money. We have authorization to do that, by the way. Let's purchase it with the Google money. And then if it's not used for a public safety complex, then we'll refund that money to the Department of Justice. That would have little or no impact on the taxpayers of the town of North Providence, would have no impact on our bond rating, which will be in jeopardy of going down. We just got it up to A. Yes, no, you can shake your head all you want, Madam Chairman, but you're being irresponsible, and anyone who supports that is being irresponsible. And my recommendation to the mayor, if you do it that way, I would just take you into court and fight it in court. I would recommend to him not to cut a check.
Well, you know something, Chief, and I'll agree to disagree. What's irresponsible is that we've been talking about, I can't say we, in the newspaper, in the media only, has been talking about a public safety complex and a cost and a price tag on it. And in all these months, what's irresponsible is to not come before the council to talk about what your, to talk about what your intentions are. So, you know, you have one way that you want to buy the land with the Google money and tell the Department of Justice that it's been approved, where it hasn't been approved yet. Well, it's just,
But
you can't.
You don't draw up plans when you don't even know you have the site. Once you get the site, then you draw up the plans, and then we come before you. As the mayor said, you don't put, the cart before the horse, and that's what you're doing.
Well, you've talked about in the paper.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars to design building when you don't know if you're gonna have the land?
Well, you know
when
you
the
have
chief-
the land, so
when
that's
the
not an
chief,
option.
when the chief had to draw and I think everyone has a copy of the request as to how the 60 million would be spent, there were a number of proposals in that plan, and the largest proposal in that plan that the Justice Department had already approved was the building of a new police complex. Then, when we found that out, and the chiefs filled us in on all of that, our position was that we needed it to become a joint public safety complex, including a new fire headquarters. The chief then went back to the Justice Department and requested a waiver to allow the town to also include in that new complex a fire department. And they agreed, stating that for a building, yes, not for equipment. You can't buy a fire truck or any fire equipment, but for construction of a new state-of-the-art building. And that's where we are right now. There's been no other, in case you may think that there's been other goings on for the planning of this. No, there hasn't. You guys approve the spending, and then we will take it from there. We'll tell the chief, look, it's a go. Put a committee together, involve a couple of the council people. But I think what's happening here is, I think maybe you may think that there's more going on than it meets the eye, and that's not so. All I'm saying at this point in time is we still have another year to pay on our deficit reduction bond. That's what I'm concerned about, and not operating with a credit card mentality to spend surplus money before we take care of our obligations. And that's why I'm suggesting that we purchase this property at no cost to the taxpayers. Don't put an additional burden on our cash flow, so to say, and purchase this property in any other way other than the Google settlement. And I can only promise you this: if we can agree that it's purchased that way, then we'll move forward with a committee, with drawings of the building, with a proposal, and take it from there. But at least until that point, it will not be any cost to the taxpayers. So I guess we have a difference of opinion, and hopefully we can agree to disagree, but I want to be on the record to state exactly the way the administration feels about this. And I think the bottom line, and the question is, are any one of you supportive or not of a new state-of-the-art public safety complex that will save us energy costs for the next 30 years, will protect the town for the next 50, 75 years with this type of a complex? So, and as to what's going to happen if the complex is built, no one knows what's going to happen down the road. If a fire station is going to close, I don't think so. Or, well, we know the police station is going to move. And then we'll end up, by the way, with a new, or a building on Mineral Spring Avenue where the police and fire headquarters is now. That, by the way, we can either lease or sell, and that money will then come back to the taxpayers. Free money. So, it's your choice, but I'm going to be part of the record to tell you that I disagree with using any money that we really, by the way, haven't satisfied our obligations yet. That's like you having a $10,000 tab on your credit card and say, the heck with it, I'm not going to get that money that my father wants to leave me. I'm just going to go put another $20,000 on the credit card. Doesn't make sense to me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Next item on the agenda. Item number 7. A notice was given for a public hearing to be held this date in the Providence Journal in the North Providence Valley Breeze on September 24th, 2014, whereby the Town Council would consider and a possible vote on the following proposed ordinance. Ordinance number 14001, an ordinance to amend Chapter 32 of the North Providence Code of Ordinances to provide for an exemption for renewable energy systems within the town of North Providence pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 44-321. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against the ordinance? Is there anyone who would like to speak against the ordinance? Is there anyone who would like to speak against the ordinance? Hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance 14001, giving the authority for our legal counsel to update any wording without changing the intent of the ordinance as needed.
So moved.
A motion has been made by Councilwoman Brady, seconded by Councilman Fiola. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item number 8 on the agenda. A discussion and possible vote with regard to the Town of North Providence entering to contracts with Fry Energy LLC for the installation of a solar power system on the former town landfill and to purchase electric from Fry Energy LLC. This item has been continued for March, April, May, June, July, August, September for their regular council meetings. This evening, Mr. Barrett, who represents Fry Energy, was unable to catch his flight out to come here. All parties that are finalizing this agreement, which would be Fry Energy's attorneys, our town solicitor, the attorney that we hired, and our legal counsel, still have revisions that are being worked on. The council has received a red line draft, and I feel that because this is a 25-year agreement, which will be here long after we are probably here, we need to make sure that we get this right. The town solicitor agreed also with our legal counsel that all council members should have a final copy before approving the final agreement. So with that being said, I don't feel comfortable voting on a red-lined agreement. I'd like to schedule a special meeting within the next week to 10 days after the legal counsel has given us a final copy. So I'll entertain that motion that I will schedule a special meeting for the final approval of the agreement.
Second.
A motion has been made by Councilman Warren, seconded by Councilman Fiola. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item number 9 on the agenda, we've received an application for a victualling license from the following: 1484 Company LLC, DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 1592 Mineral Spring Avenue, North Providence. Canelos Geodis, I apologize for not pronouncing that properly. 981 Mineral Spring Avenue. Are you here to please come forward. Okay. Good evening. How are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Just state your name for the record.
Yeah, Canelos Jutsos.
Sorry about messing up your name. I apologize. Okay, I reviewed the victualling license. Does anyone have any questions? This is just from one location to another, correct?
Yes.
Motion to grant?
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Yes, sir.
Oh, it's A and B instead of just B, right? Yeah.
Okay, it is, oh, on this it's 981, A and B. A and B.
A and B?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you just want to check the paperwork on that. We'll make that correction on
Okay.
there. Okay, thank you. A motion was made and seconded. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Good luck. Item number 10 on the agenda,
What do we do with the other one?
Yes, sir.
Guido Petrusinelli, 1484 Company, Dunkin' Donuts.
Did I miss one?
You missed the Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh. I apologize.
No problem.
I thought it was one and the same. I
No,
apologize.
thank
So 1484 Company LLC, DBA Dunkin' Donuts.
Correct.
Please state your name for the record.
Guido Petrusinelli.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for the victualling license?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, sir.
You moving the other two to that one place?
We're moving one. We're moving the double drive-through for now.
The
The other one
drive-in?
will stay open.
And the other big one is staying open?
Correct.
I'm sorry, Councilman, did you ask your question?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Item number 10, received applications for victualling license from the following: Chang's Kitchen of Smith Street, LLC, DBA Chang's Kitchen of Smith Street, LLC, 1526 Smith Street, North Providence, Rhode Island. Is anyone here representing Chang's? Please come forward, sir. How are you tonight? Just state your name for the record, please.
Huy Len.
Do you want me to have him sign in when he leaves? When you leave, sir, just sign in the back, okay, so we get the correct spelling of your name,
Sure.
okay? Thank you. I reviewed the victualling application. I don't see any questions or concerns. Does anyone have any questions? Someone like to make a motion?
Motion to grant.
Second.
A motion's been made to grant by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. You're all set. Good luck. D&F Coffee Incorporated, DBA Coffee Connection, 1744 Middle Spring Avenue, North Providence. How are you tonight?
Good, yourself?
Fine, thank you. Just state your name for the record.
Danny Abu Najim.
Danny, okay. All right, we have the victualling license. Does anyone have any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion to grant.
A motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item number 11 on the agenda, Cottage Avenue. I requested a discussion with Councilman Fiola, discussion and vote on 12 Cottage Avenue for school parking issues. Richard and Jennifer Ciarlo would like to address the council. Are Richard and Jennifer here this evening?
Madam President,
Yes.
on this issue, is this another traffic problem down on, because I got a call from a gentleman on this same problem, and when I checked, I had the police check on it and everything, and there was nothing that they could do about it, that it was strictly a school department problem, and that they thought that the school department should be handling it.
I don't know who you spoke with. I know it's the back side of the school.
From McGuire, yeah.
Yeah, and this resident here, they're parking on her lawn.
Right.
They're throwing their
Right, that's
garbage.
same-
Is that the same one?
Same complaints plus the
Right.
traffic and everything. And it should, if you look at Centerdale School and you look at Greystone School, I mean, we gave that to the school department to come up with a solution to that, for those two areas. And to me, I would do the same thing, give it to them to solve this problem.
I would motion to send it to the school committee.
Yeah,
And just for the record, I did go down the street. That road is over 100 years old.
oh, yeah.
I want to say it's maybe 15 feet tops wide, maybe even 12 feet wide. I went as school was letting out. If someone opens a door, they're gonna strike a vehicle that comes down.
Many years ago, I also, this problem came up, but from the front part of the school, okay? Because the teachers park on both sides of the street, and they park in front of people's houses, and they complain they got no room for their visitors and stuff. So what they had decided was, they were gonna take, if you're facing the front of the school, the play yard to the right, they were gonna make that a parking area for the teachers. All the teachers were gonna go in there, and then they were gonna funnel them out Cottage Street at night. And they would go out towards Fruit Hill. And they'd agreed to put up a fence and divide the play yard and everything, and nothing was ever done.
Well, I mean, we can send it to the school department if that's what you'd like to do and see, you know, maybe they'll send around a flyer asking people not to, I don't know. Unless it has no parking on it, people are still gonna park there, so,
But if there's houses there and you put no parking, now you
right.
eliminate the parking for the people that live there. I mean, that's not right either.
Well, whatever your pleasure is.
I would motion to send it to the school committee, and how about sending it to ordinance as well, so it's there? So if the school committee acts on it, so we
Yeah.
have ordinance.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
A motion made by Councilman Fiola, seconded by Councilman Audiello and Juicy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item number 12 on the agenda, AZAD Streetlight. Myself and Councilman Warren requested discussion and vote to send a second request for a streetlight on 3 AZAD Avenue. Amanda Napolitano may address the council. Is Amanda here this evening? Councilman Warren?
She did contact me to let me know, I thought this was a closed issue, to let me know that National Grid never responded with these streetlights. That's that new development down off Charles Street.
So what we can do is we'll send a second request. We can call, so I'll entertain that motion to send that second request.
So moved.
I would send it to our liaison, Lori Spangler, with National Grid. Lori Spangler.
Do you want to second that?
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Brady made the motion, Councilman Juicy seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 13, AZAD Street Bond. Myself and Councilman Warren requested discussion and vote regarding the bond that is being held up for the builder to pave AZAD Street upon completion of the development. I myself spoke when Amanda called me. Her concern was that winter is coming, and she called and asked if they had released the bond yet, the town, because the road needed to be paved upon completion, and she was told that they didn't. I can only assume that if we send a letter to building? Planning? So if we send a letter to the planning department with this particular development, asking them if they've released the bond, and if not, if they would act upon it, so the road would be completed.
We should put a drop dead date on that letter also. You know?
They can't move the road, they can't move the road. They can't release the bond unless the road is done. And then they gotta come to us to release. The planning board has to request.
Right. So I guess if we send them a letter asking them the status, whether or not, right, what's the status of the bond for completion of that road? Someone want to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion made by Councilman Brady, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item 14, myself, President Catanzaro requested discussion and vote to replace the light and possibly replace the badly splintered pole number 1 on Observatory Avenue. This is also a second request. There was a car accident, it hit the pole, it's badly splintered, the light came down. So I'll entertain a motion to send a letter also to the Lori Spangler person, asking if they can replace the light and look at the pole for its security also.
Second.
Who made the motion? Councilman Giusti, Councilwoman Brady seconded. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item 15, Councilman Audiello requested discussion and possible vote with regards to the speeding on Humbert Street and its use as a cut-through street. Councilman Audiello?
Humbert Street is a major cut-through from Fruit Hill Ave and Woonsocket Ave. So I'd like to send a letter to Diana Perez, Sergeant Perez, to set up a speed trap and occasionally put the sign up that monitors people speeding. And yeah, that's it. So I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
So a motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion's made and seconded. I believe we send it to Mrs. Scaramuzzo now. She just, she's not, yeah, she just got a promotion, so
Who's this?
send it to, I won't make that. Let's just do one at a time. Okay, so a motion was made and seconded. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay. I'll make a motion to send that to the Public Safety Director as well.
Second.
A motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item 16, Councilwoman Brady introduces an ordinance for residential parking only at 17 McGuire Road in front of Tax Assessor's Plat 21A, Lot 670, requesting permission and a vote to have the town clerk advertise said ordinance for a public hearing. Councilwoman Brady?
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to make a motion to introduce this ordinance for a resident-only parking at 17 McGuire Road, Plat 21A, Lot 670, to introduce and to advertise for a public hearing at the November regular Town Council meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Isn't this the one that I brought up
Yes.
a couple of months ago?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So a motion was made by Councilman
second.
Audiello. Councilman Giusti seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item 17, Councilwoman Brady to submit the Ordinance Committee report and minutes from September 15, 2014 for
Okay.
approval and a vote.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to accept as presented.
So moved.
A motion made by Councilwoman Brady, seconded by Councilman Audiello. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 18, Elliott Avenue. This item has been continued for several months. I request a discussion and a possible vote concerning an update regarding Elliott Avenue and the surrounding streets in their flooding issues. Last month, we requested, as a public records request, information from AGI and D'Amico Engineering. We did receive the information from D'Amico Engineering. We did not receive the information from AGI. Our clerk has made a request to AGI. As we've been told, there was a report given, so hopefully we'll be getting that. And I'd like to entertain a motion to send a letter to the administration CCing the Department of Public Works for a written response for the plan of action to resolve the issue within this neighborhood by the next council meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. A motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Let's see. Item number 22, I'm just going to take before item number 20. I was asked by the
We got
environment.
19 too.
Oh. Where? I do wear glasses, I forgot them. There we go, sorry about that. Item 19, Councilwoman Brady to report on the North Providence School Department's Grant Writing Committee meeting as of September 10th, 2014. Councilwoman Brady?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to accept as presented.
So moved.
A motion made by Councilwoman Brady, seconded by Councilman Audiello. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item 22, I was asked if we could move this up. Someone has an engagement. It's snow removal. Let's hope we don't get snow quicker, but we received a request from Barry Schiller, the Secretary of North Providence Environment Commission, to discuss issues pertaining to snow removal from sidewalks. Barry Schiller? You got it. Just state your name for the record right in there.
My name is Barry Schiller. I am the Secretary of the North Providence Environment Commission, as you said. I live on Sunset Avenue off Smith Street. And we've been before the council before. Last year, we met with the administration, and our mayor sent a very good letter in the breeze, but at the beginning of the snow season, but we still had problems. And it's a public safety problem. It is for me. My wife and I have always shared one car, so we're frequent pedestrians and bus users. And as a senior, sometimes it takes me quite a while to shovel out my car, and I depend on walking during that period. So it's a personal safety problem. It's also a town priority. In the breeze last February, there was a front page story about making North Providence more walkable. So snow removal from sidewalks, I want to share some ideas, and the council and/or the Public Safety Committee might take them into account, and I will be sharing some materials with you. If you do a Google search of sidewalk snow removal, it's ironic about Google, as you'll see, first of all, you get a lot of hits, and one of them I'm going to recommend that's going to be in a packet I'll deliver is kind of frequently asked questions about this. And what this does is indicate what are some model snow removal policies around the country from sidewalks, stuff about senior issues, disability issues, enforcement issues, ice issues. I'll share that with the council, and I hope that you all take a look. Also on a Google search, you see companies that sell equipment. Here's something from Ventrac that will be in the packet. You may have heard of them, and there's pictures of their machines. There's a lot of options and specs. Another company is Grasshopper Snow Removal. I don't have the answer of what's the best equipment, but I do think that the Google money, that's the irony, because this is a public safety issue, I've heard conflicting ideas about whether the Google money could be used for snow removal equipment from sidewalks. And I encourage the council and/or the Public Safety Committee to please look into that. I can't answer the question. I can't answer who's in charge of spending the Google money, but I do think this is an important use if we can use it to make our sidewalks safer. Another thing in the packet is to help seniors in Newport, Rhode Island. The administration has the police and fire volunteering for some seniors. This is an issue for me and my wife, because when there's really heavy snow, it's beyond us. And that's not necessarily the only way to help seniors. There's a different program in Pawtucket. Now, who's going to pull all this together? There's a lot of players. There's town officials like yourselves, police departments, DPW, there's advocates, there's contractors, there's the Rhode Island Department of Transportation on state roads, there's RIPTA, where they have bus stops. I'd like the council and/or, again, the Public Safety Committee to consider taking some leadership and sending a letter to RIDOT Director Mike Lewis, who I believe is the person most in a position to call a snow summit, so that not just North Providence, but lots of towns in our state are struggling with this. And if we get all the informed people together, on some kind of snow summit, we could answer questions. What's the best equipment? What's the best ordinances? What's the best way to help seniors? What's the best way to deal with ice? What's the best way to keep the bus stops from getting blocked in? And if you're interested in doing that, the North Providence Environment Commission will help draft that letter, take a look at it. We have a quarterly meeting with Mike Lewis and the environment community so we can facilitate action with him if you're interested. I've suggested it personally to Mike Lewis, but I think he needs to hear it from more official sources, and I think it would be helpful if you would do that. And there's not much to lose, because we can't answer everything, I can't answer everything, but if we put all these groups together, perhaps we can. Finally, the North Providence Environment Commission also has taken some action, and I want to put this in the packet I give to you, because we have gone around after snowstorms noticing that there are, on the key place where there's public, where there's important streets like Smith and Mineral Spring and Charles Street, there are some businesses that really do clear the sidewalk, and we have a thank you that we've given out, and it can be done. And when it's not done, especially when businesses pile up the snow from their private parking lots and driveways on the public sidewalk, so it blocks the sidewalk not just for the normal duration, but for long after most snow is melted, these big piles still block the sidewalk. So we put in a notice, we've handed out, we have no enforcement power, but we can ask the companies and businesses to cooperate with our ordinances. And finally in this packet is the actual ordinance, which by the way is signed by the mayor's chief of staff when he was town council president. So I hope that you can work with the administration on enforcing it, the ordinance that prohibits piling up private snow on public sidewalks. So that's my part. Don Rhodes has a few things to say too for our commission. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Councilman Giusti, are you the public safety chairperson? Would you like to schedule a meeting to address this before we get one flake of snow?
No, let me put it this way. I'm going for knee surgery October 21st, so I'm not going to be able to.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering on the Public Safety Committee, so maybe
Yeah,
delegate it to the next
I would
person?
love to do it if I was able to get around, but
All right.
I'll be incapacitated for about 4 weeks.
All right. Well, maybe organize with the other members, and then someone else can call it so we can address the
Yeah.
needs, and then we can reach out and have the environmental committee come.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes.
Hello, my name is Don Rhodes. I'm here as part of the North Providence Environmental Commission and president and lobbyist for the RIPTA Riders Alliance, which is a incorporated nonprofit that advocates for public transportation. And we've been communicating quite a bit with RIPTA about one big problem that we find, and that is the snow shelters that are leased mostly by a company called Lamar. And we've had ongoing discussions with them because in the original contract, it was not stated that they were responsible for the maintenance during the snowstorm. But because of our efforts and lots of other folks' efforts, they have agreed to take responsibility for 25 of the shelters in the state, and the busiest ones, and one is in North Providence, which is on the Charles Street South Mineral Spring Avenue. So that will be maintained by Lamar, and we do have are going to make sure that that their integrity is first class as far as maintaining this problem. Second of all, last winter, RIPTA sent out a snow removal policy message to the busiest communities in Rhode Island. This year, they are going to send it out to everybody. So all the mayors of all the towns in Rhode Island are going to get this this communication. And in the essence of time, I will not read I will not read it all to everyone. Basically, the gist of it is winter in Rhode Island is both beautiful and a burden in so many ways, particularly when it comes to snow removal. I look forward to working with you to alleviate this burden and creating access for our passengers. So RIPTA is going to be doing everything they can to work with all the mayors in all the towns in Rhode Island, North Providence being one of them. Also, last winter, we had the liberty of making a video of the snow removal efforts on Smith Street in North Providence from Centerdale to the State House. And 3 days after the last snowstorm, there was only 2 accessible bus stops from that whole direction in both ways. So we hope to have that changed this year. And with that, thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Nice podium.
Don't do a snow dance either, please. No. I will just take item 23, and then I'm going to come back to item 20. The private detective's license. We received an application from Michael Phillips, 31 Intervale Avenue, North Providence. Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Just state your name for the record.
Michael Phillips.
Does anyone have any questions for Michael? I reviewed the application. I didn't see any questions. It's signed off by the chief.
Motion to grant.
Second.
A motion's been made by Councilman Audiello to grant, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you,
As
Council.
simple as that. Thank you. Item number 20 on the agenda, A. Raphael Lombardi. We received a request from Mr. A. Raphael Lombardi, the taxpayer, to speak before the Town Council at the October 7th meeting, requesting the following. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just talk, you hold that microphone and talk right into it for us. There you go.
My name is A. Raphael Lombardi, 375 Angel Road, and I'd just like to make a point of order observance that we hear and read about equitable sharing. So when you prepare an agenda and you plan the agenda, it would be nice if you follow the agenda. You know, what do you do? You know what I'm saying?
We try to do it the best we can, but he had to pick somebody up at 8:30, so he asked me,
all right.
so I
Okay.
honored his request.
All right. The first thing on the agenda is the expansion of Angel Road, right?
Yes, expansion of Angel Road between Woodard Road and Pope Street.
Right. And I have in front of me a copy of a letter I sent on December the 4th, a year ago, 2013, addressed to you and the members of the Town Council, with a copy to Mr. Lynch and Paul Martellini and Glenn Corrente. And I guess this is not a top priority, but when you think of all the people that go to church at St. Anthony and the traffic with the funerals, recently with the road problems we had with the sewer, traffic has been diverted through that street. And as I mentioned before, in 2011, 2 Nissans clashed with their rearview mirrors, causing $1,000 worth of damage. So my request here is that you request Linda Fogarty, I believe, is the owner of 8 Gibbs. That property has extended 6.5 feet extended their backyard 6.5 feet into Angel Road with
Who has, say that again?
the name of the property owner is Linda Fogarty on 8 Gibbs Street.
8 Gibbs?
8 Gibbs Street. The backyard extends 6.5 feet into Angel Road. Okay? And in that 6.5 feet, a row of huge shrubs, trees, a stone wall, and railroad ties. Now, why these people have the privilege of encroaching on the town of North Providence property with impunity, I don't understand it. When people are inconvenienced, Mr. Lynch tells me he doesn't even bother going that street. I have to avoid it. When I see some other car coming in, I don't go down that road. So why should everybody be inconvenienced so that Linda can have a nice backyard? Okay, so I've been to the town zoning, and I talked to Glenn Corrente.
I was just asking the clerk. I'm going to entertain a motion to send that request, we'll say, to planning and zoning.
Please, don't do it. I've already been there. It's a waste of time. I go there
Welcome to our world.
and Kerry Morris is the
Could I
acting...
finish making my motion?
Well, sure.
Thank you. I'd like to entertain the motion to send a letter to planning and zoning to have them review the request of Mr. A. Raphael Lombardi, 8 Gibbs Street, for encroaching onto Angel Lane.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah.
A motion made, hold on one second, please.
All right.
A motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Can I comment
Okay.
on that?
Yes.
I've been there before.
Well, we're
And-
going to send them a letter because you're coming to us and asking us
All right,
to
we'll-
get that information.
We'll follow procedure.
So that's what we're going to do, and we will get that answer back for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So
So
then-
item number 2,
2.
clarification of the contested form of town government.
Yes. I read in the newspapers about this back and forth, who's the governing body, and to me, it seems a relatively simple solution I'd like to present to you, okay, for your consideration. I base this on the history of the church in the first millennium, going into the second millennium. Another name for a council is a synod. They're the same things, okay? So a synod means, from the Greek, you're walking in the same path together. Evidently, you and the mayor are not walking in the same path together. So both poor Mr. Raymond Mansalillo, who stated that it was the council, and also the mayor, and Martellini saying it's the mayor, both of them are not correct. Mr. Gallone, very disappointingly, did not do his homework because he cited that passages from the North Province, and I'd like to have a copy of those passages of the North Province Town Charter that say that the mayor shall serve as, quote, the chief executive and administrative head of the town government, unquote. Well, in my research in the town charter, it says very clearly it's the mayor hyphen town council. Okay, like in the town of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the mayor and 8 members of the town council meet together. All right? In Cumberland, Maryland, not Lincoln, not in Rhode Island, they also have a mayor that sits with the council. So evidently in the history of the town of North Providence, there hasn't been a mayor until Mayor Sal Mancini, and then after that. So you people, or the town council, has a certain inertia that it's the town council, but that's not the way it is in the charter. So even I read where you said you're quoting the justice of the Department of Justice thing as your way of saying no, it's the town council. And so it's the charter that decides. So the charter says mayor hyphen town council. So in a canon, which is like a law in number 34, this goes back to the year 500, the bishops of every nation, a bishop is like a mayor, so the bishops of every nation must acknowledge who is the first among them, and acknowledge him as their head, and do nothing of consequence without his consent, but neither let him do anything without the consent of all. So there'll be some unanimity. Now I understand that according to Mr. Mansalillo, that the council was not alerted to what Martellini and Lombardi had done. That's not good government, okay? They're doing something without, letting you people know. So you have to work together. So, very simply, the mayor should be present at every one of these meetings. I told him tonight, good to see you here. You know, so I asked Mr. Lynch about that strip of Angel Road, and he tells me, well, it ended up on the mayor's desk. Now, in a council or a synodal meeting like the one they have in Rome, there is voting to share the power. So if you all vote, and the mayor will vote, like an archbishop will have, let's say, 12 bishops. They have a meeting, okay? They vote, all right? Now, I guess the mayor or the archbishop can have a veto, okay? But this form of government, the way you people are going at it, we're stalemated here.
Well, let me just, if I can interject, I appreciate your research, and I appreciate everything that you have to say. And what I do want to show you here, and I agree with you that things should be coming before the governing body. And in our budget ordinance that we have, which, as you can see, it's signed by Mayor Lombardi, it's signed by Anthony Gallone, the town solicitor, and it's signed by me. And it's approved by the council. In the section over here, it says that all expenditures, which includes the Google money, needs to come before this body for approval. So regardless of, it has to be brought before this council for approval, whether they want to say they're the governing body, we're the governing body. We have to work together at that.
Yes.
It has to come before the town council for approval. So if we don't do that, we're violating our own ordinance.
That's
and
what I
that's
mean.
what's happening right now, and that's why I've taken such a stance that we're violating our own law.
Yeah.
What good is the law that we sign and we approve if we're not following it?
Exactly.
So I took an oath of office just like everybody else took an oath of office, and we have to uphold the law that we passed. So as far as, you know, what you're saying, I absolutely agree with you. And according to our law, the federal law, that's how it has to be enacted. That's how it has to be done. So as long as the mayor brings those expenditures to the council for approval, which is the way the law says, we'd actually have no problem. So the mayor's actually fighting with his own law. So he's not fighting with anyone else but his own ordinance that he signed.
So you don't envision him being present at your council meetings? Like
He
if you
should.
get rid of all these license and victualling licenses and put it in like a zoning board or something like that and get rid of all that stuff and then deal mainly with the more important things that, could you envision like in Chapel Hill or this other town in Cumberland, Maryland, where the mayor sits with the town council and together you try to reach a consensus, okay, on any particular matter, rather than you people just making the vote, then you bring it to the mayor, then he does whatever.
Well, anyone's welcome here. Anyone's welcome here.
Yeah, but I'm saying on a regular basis that the mayor is included in this. In other words,
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
he would be.
we'll have to evaluate that, but it's a checks and balances form of government. You have
Yeah.
the executive branch, the legislative branch.
Right.
So I don't see the mayor sitting up here on the council because that's just not how the form of government works.
Well,
So-
excuse me, I just said there are at least two, you know, maybe Cumberland, Mr. McKee probably does the same thing in Cumberland, but the mayor should be present at this meeting, okay, and preside, okay? You people can still do whatever you want, but I mean, they're doing it in North Carolina, Chapel Hill. They're doing
Okay.
it in Maryland. So it's time for an amendment too. According to the charter that I read, you can always make an amendment, you know.
Raphael, you should schedule a meeting with the mayor and go in and suggest that to him.
I will. I
That's
will.
what you should do.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is, you got your loggerheads here, and it's...
Do you read The Breeze every week, Raphael?
Do I what?
Do you read The Breeze every week? The Valley Breeze?
Not every week.
Good.
Yeah,
Good,
New York
no.
Times. I'd rather go with the New York Times.
Yeah, there you go. You'll really educate yourself.
Yeah.
Thank
So
Okay, do you think we can move on to number 3 now?
we could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Your documentation of Nipmuc Trail as a public road.
Yeah. I heard from the Italian grapevine that Mr. Baccari and, let's say, Sal Mancini made a deal that the Nipmuc Trail should be really a public road. But the Lewis Clifford Association is supposed to maintain it. So, again, Mr. Rendine has enough institutional memory to take it upon himself, and I still haven't received your official statement that you did not find any documentation in the records saying whether or not Nipmuc Trail is a public road, because we have people coming in there and so forth, police giving tickets, and is it a public road or not? Is it semi-private or what? So, Mr. Rendine.
It is not a public road. The documents indicated that the condominium was formed and the condominium association owns the entire area. You should have condominium documents if you live in that area. Now, the reason why I haven't given you anything in written form yet is because I have assumed these duties on a temporary basis, and I have to research, do quite a bit of research, having been out of this particular position for the past 12 years. And because of that, I need to go back and try to evaluate what may have taken place according to your information to me. And it isn't an easy task to review 12 years of past performance. I am working on it. If you feel as though, I guess I did speak to you.
Right.
However, I did not give it to you in writing, and I could have asked for an extension of time to answer you. But I kind of gave it to you in a verbal form.
Yeah.
Instead of giving it to you in a written form. And for that, I'll apologize. But I usually do have a paper trail, which I did not provide you with. So if you need that, I am requesting an additional, 20 days, 30 days, whatever the law provides.
No, I appreciate the fact that you are taking this seriously enough and you want to do an in-depth...
I'm trying to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that, really.
You have to understand that I came here and not out of the goodness of my heart, no, out of a need for the community.
Thank you.
In other words, the council asked me as a past town clerk if I could fill the position due to the health issues of the existing town clerk.
Yeah.
And I came because I felt that I was qualified to do it.
Yeah.
And with that, I can't stay anymore.
Well, I thank you very much, and I appreciate your taking this in a very serious manner, and I do see where you're doing a super job. You're very thorough, and I can see that. So that's very good. I'm very happy with that.
So
Yes.
thank you. On the item there, our clerk will be reviewing that for you.
Yeah, there's
Is
no
that
rush.
okay?
There's no
Okay.
rush.
All right.
I appreciate that.
And number 4, an update on the partnering of towns of North Providence and Johnston for the police firing range.
Yes.
I did call the chief today for you, so I
called?
did get an update for you, so we didn't have to send a letter.
So you called
So-
whom, please?
The chief?
Chief Tamburini?
Nope, Chief Martellini, our
Oh, this
chief
Martellini. Okay.
here in North Providence. And what he said to me was that the structure has been built and it will be ready at the end of the month for it to be open in Johnston.
At
And
the
they
end
will
of the
be-
month. This month
The end
is...
of the end of the month, it will be open. the month we're in.
Of October.
Yep. And how they're going to operate this is that they'll be range instructors, and they'll be doing in-service training, which will alleviate any of the overtime costs.
Say that again?
They're-
Overtime. Yeah.
Ready? I'll say
Yeah.
it again. They're doing in-service training, which will alleviate overtime costs.
How does that work?
So while there's officers on the job, they will rotate them in and out of the firing range for possibly 1 hour, so they're not having to get overtime, because the minimum overtime would be 4 hours. So they'll be rotating them in for training. 1 to 2 times a month, they'll be doing this to train the police officers.
I see. So, because I talked to Mr. Martellini myself a long time ago about this, and there seems to be two different views of how this works. In other words, if you're saying that a policeman is going to be on duty, all right, and then Martellini's going to call him up and say, go to the firing range now from 11 to 12. And they're going to go over there, and they're going to practice for an hour. And it's so convenient. But I want to say this, that first of all, I was at the Johnston Police Station this morning at 8 o'clock, and I spoke to Deputy Perillo. Okay, he would not let me see the facility in the basement. Okay, he assured me that all the things, the computer targets and all that was in place. However, they're not going to be ready until November 1st. Okay, it was supposed to be done by the end of June. Okay, now the mayor I just heard talking about a new police station and fire station. Well, they just blew $62,000. They gave it to Johnston. All right?
Raphael, excuse me, Raphael, it costs a lot more than that to put a police firing range inside a police department.
You didn't have to spend a penny, because Camp Fogarty down in East Greenwich gives you the same experience for zero.
No, it doesn't. I was a member of the military for 22 years, and I was a Johnston police officer for 20 years. Camp Fogarty does not have anywhere near the facilities that Johnston Police Station. Johnston Police Station is the only indoor firing range in the state of Rhode Island, and you have nighttime firing. You have a lot more controlled issue in Johnston than outside that outside range Camp Fogarty. And for Camp Fogarty, that means the National Guardsmen would have to be delegated to go down there anytime the police, and plus you got travel costs. Camp Fogarty is a heck of a lot away compared to Johnston Police Station.
Well, my answer to that is Bryant University, the golf club goes down to Potawatomi, no big deal. So they practice their golf. The policemen can practice their firing. I have a good friend who's in the National Guard, just came back from Kabul. He tells me that that's the place to go for policemen all over the state.
Where's the place to go? Afghanistan?
No, I'm just saying, he just came back from Afghanistan. He's been in the Guard.
No,
and
where's the place to go for all the police officers?
Well, right there, Camp Fogarty.
What do you do in the winter in inclement weather? You can't do nighttime firing down in Camp Fogarty.
Well, just like they can't play golf either. If a guy can't shoot a gun by January and he's been practicing since June, he doesn't belong in the police force.
Golf and firing are apples and oranges.
All right, it's a done deal. It's over with. $62,000.
November 1st, right?
$62,000 has been thrown away when it could have been. If they wanted to build a new complex, then they should have held off and put the $62,000 toward a firing range in the town of North Providence, which is going to celebrate their 250th anniversary next year. What do they got to show for it? They still are codependent on a little town called Johnston. What a wonderful...
Wait a minute.
Huh?
You know what? I'm getting tired of hearing what you're saying, because you're talking nonsense. Right?
I am.
Yes, you are. Because, first of all, that firing range is going to help the police department in North Providence, and it's going to help the police department in Johnston. It's 2 police departments it's covering.
Yeah,
and
but
that
all the
money that we used over there was Google money. It didn't cost the taxpayers one dime. Not one dime did that cost the taxpayer. And they partnered up on that, and they've got a Class A facility over there.
Okay.
And what you're talking is pure nonsense because it's ridiculous. We got 2 police departments for a cheap price, and the cheap price didn't cost the taxpayer one dime. Not one dime.
Well, I
I
talked
mean,
to...
enough is enough now.
Well,
Don't go ridiculing.
You are not the
Don't
chairman.
go ridiculing our police department or the Johnston Police Department for no reason at all.
How about the Hopkinton Police Department?
The what?
The Hopkinton. All right? They also received the prize.
Talking nonsense.
Mr.
And
Lombardi.
Get on with it.
Mr. Lombardi, can I
Yes.
ask you a question? We appreciate your opinion.
please
We appreciate your opinion.
state
And-
my opinion.
I appreciate your opinion.
Oh, thank you.
Okay? So there's not any action that the council can take. We understand your point. This is something you can talk to with the chief, but at this point, there's nothing that the council can do.
Yeah,
So your comments are appreciated, and, I'd like to be able to move the meeting on. Your point is well taken.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
we will get in touch with you for the couple of the items
All right.
that we have on here and let you know.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item number 21 on the agenda, 952 Mineral Spring Avenue. We received a request to be heard at the October 7th, 2014 council meeting from Diane Vaccaro and Daniel Vaccaro concerning sewer line issues.
Okay.
Good evening. Just state your name for the record, please.
I forgot why I'm here.
They're going to canonize you. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm Diane
Where do you
Vaccaro.
always-
This is Daniel Vaccaro.
All right, if you do me a favor, whoever's going to talk one at a time, just grab the microphone and speak right into that microphone.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can
Okay.
take it out of the
You can take it right
holster.
out of the hole, yeah. There you go.
We are the owners of an office building at 952 Middle Spring Avenue. Sometime towards the end of August, when we were on vacation, there was sewer backup in the basement of our office building. Now, prior to that, my office basement was clean, dry, no problems. And this is a reoccurrence of sewer backup 4 times from the beginning, from the end of October 2010 to February of 2011, which caused cleanup with a cost of $10,100 for a total 4 times cleanup at that period of time. I sued the town and won the case. I was reimbursed $8,100 a year ago in October or November of 2013. When I came back from vacation on September 2nd, I went to the office, pick up my mail, and the smell was there. Went back, I went to the basement with a flashlight, put the lights on, sewer backup. And it's gotten somewhat worse.
More than somewhat.
So we contacted you, the Miss Cantanzaro, and my wife had talked to Mr. Fossa, and who else?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. And we also contacted DEM, and they sent an engineer down to review the situation. And subsequent to that meeting with the DEM official, he, in the presence of my wife, spoke with Mr. Fossa to explain what was happening.
This is an conference call.
You didn't
One
work on
person
the
at a
sewers.
time, okay?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Just one person can
Yes.
speak at a time, please.
You did work on the sewer line in August. Okay, you did work on the sewer line in August. And that was the time when I went on vacation, or we went on vacation. We came back, we had the sewer problem. This is similar to what happened 3 years ago.
The DEM official told us that it was caused from the work being done on the sewer lines, that there was a power surge that caused the sewer to expand, and it came up through the ground. We're not the only ones with the problem. 2 buildings down on the same side, the Fairlawn Medical has the same problem in the basement. These 2 ladies own a hair salon, nail salon, tanning salon, further down towards from our office, and they have a similar problem. And we have canvassed other people in the neighborhood. They didn't respond to coming to this meeting, but we know there's a 3-family house that has had a problem with sewer backup in the basement, and that's diagonally across from my office building. The problem is, I can't clean this up until the work on the sewer lines is complete. So I need to know when that work will be completed.
Well, they did start cutting last week, at the end of the week. They made the cuts so they can dig. They're supposed to start digging by next week.
Okay.
So as far as completion, what I was told, it would take 4 days. They're assuming that the pipes are down about 20 feet, so it is a big project. It's not just
Oh, no, I
like a
understand
regular.
that. You had explained that
Yeah.
earlier in our discussions privately.
So you did, I don't know if
And you
you
also
saw
have
the-
to consider the weather.
Say that again?
We have to consider the weather. If it's heavy rain, or if we unfortunately get snow, that impacts completing, yeah, I know, that impacts completing the work.
Well, they did start.
Okay.
So that's why they made the cuts.
well, that's a
And they're
good-
getting the road design together, approved by the DOT. So I do know they're supposed to be starting the digging next week.
Okay.
So I don't know the completion time, but I think once they're out there working on the project, they're not going to leave it. They're going to start to finish it.
Are you putting in new sewer lines?
That's what I believe.
I have
I
a loud
didn't see
voice, so class, sorry.
the bid spec, but I can ask Mr. Carenti if they're putting in a new line. I would assume they are
Okay.
putting in a new
Because
line.
this problem is, what happened the last time, it looked like it was a Band-Aid situation. And if you put a Band-Aid on a wound, eventually, if you don't take it off after a couple of days, eventually it'll come off. And
Well,
this
it is
what-
something, unfortunately, I mean, I have to say this, they knew about it. They've known that this is not they know it's a troubled spot.
Who was they?
So, well, the administration knows that it was a
Okay.
troubled spot. So that's why, speaking with you and telling you to bring, we realize you have a claim. We know that you had a claim before and the town paid it.
Okay.
So they were aware, because the town paid that it is a troubled spot.
Well, but the thing is, when the work is done, completed, I got to have that basement, the sewage taken out,
Right.
cleaned up, it's disinfected, and whatever else is going to be done to make the office usable. So who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for that cost?
Well, what you'll have to do is submit another claim to the town with your estimates and the costs. Take pictures.
Oh, yeah.
You said DEM already took the pictures, right?
Yeah.
Send us copies of the pictures. Keep
But
pictures for you too. And you have to submit it as a claim to the town.
I understand that, but I don't want to go through 2 years of litigation. This is not I didn't cause this problem. The doctor didn't cause the problem. These ladies didn't cause the problem. And whoever else has the problem didn't cause the problem. This is the town's responsibility, okay? And I don't think I should pay for it out of my pocket. I'm not looking to make money on the town. If it costs $5,000 to clean it all up, I'd like to be reimbursed for that. And I'd like to have it on record.
Madam President?
Yes.
Yes,
You
sir.
could just submit that to the Claims Committee right here on the council.
Please?
Correct.
You could just submit that bill once it's done to the Claims Committee on this council.
We're paying $5,000 a year for property tax. my building, I can't sell it, I can't lease it, I can't even work in it.
Yeah, but, no, he's talking about the bill, you're talking about
separate
something
issue.
else. That's a separate issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's talking about the bill.
We know where to send the bill. Mrs. Patton told me where to send the bill. I understand.
All right, but he didn't seem to understand that.
No.
The idea of paying $5,000 for property tax on a piece of property that's not worth what's in my cellar. That's what I'm saying.
But that isn't what he was saying.
Well, my husband is also saying it. He may not be voicing it, but he is also saying it. I already put in
I didn't hear it.
an appeal on it.
Oh, okay, so you
We
did.
have,
Okay, good.
look, this whole situation is, there's a problem, it's got to be fixed. I got to clean up an office building, okay? That's going to cost money. I don't want to submit a claim that's going to be an estimate. I want to submit something that's actual. From we already talked to 2 septic companies. So, and when the work is completed at my office building, I'll have a definitive amount. We will present that in accordance with whatever the instructions are, and to whomever we should submit it. So we will do that. I just want to know that we're not going to be railroaded as we were the last time, so I had
One
to hire
person
an
at a
attorney to
time.
take you to court.
Right. Well, let me just, I think I may have explained this. I know Councilman Audiello can attest to it. Any claim over a certain amount automatically goes to the town solicitor.
Yeah.
Our claims committee, for the most part, handles like potholes.
Can you explain it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I
There's
was-
a problem in the town.
Yes, sir?
We had an insurance company years ago that covered all sewer claims. We no longer have that insurance company. We now have a new one with a $10,000 deductible, which is why you
I
were
know.
forced to sue the town.
We know that.
So now, if you put in another claim and it's over $10,000 or around $10,000, odds are you're going to have to sue the town again, unfortunately. And that's not right. That's not what should happen.
So you give that to your insurance carrier?
No, what he's saying
What?
is unless it's over 10,
Yeah.
okay, they cannot cover it. If it's over 10, it's got to go over to their insurance carrier.
Okay.
I, as the chairman of the claims committee, have
So,
been dealing with this
so
for 4 years.
just so I understand it clearly, if the claim is for $7,000,
We'll try
We
and
sit on your doorstep and you pay us. Is that what you're telling me?
we'll try and get it paid.
You got to do more than try, sir. This is my second time around. I will sit on your
Well,
doorstep
let me tell you
and will
something.
get paid.
When we have about 10 to 15 claims,
You
all,
just want to spend $1 million.
wait a minute, let him speak.
can I finish?
Speak.
Hold on Wait, Mrs. Vaccaro. Mrs. Vaccaro, could you hold on one
Guys.
second, please?
That's enough.
Hold on.
Please.
I can only have one person talking at a time, and you need to speak into the
There
microphone.
was only one person talking,
But you need to,
myself.
but we need to hear you on the tape recorder.
What I'm trying to say is that I will not go through what I did 5 years ago with the lies from Mr. Audiello saying, no, it wasn't North Providence's responsibility.
Actually,
You said
I'm
it to
trying
me
to help
over
you.
the phone. You said
I'm
it
trying-
wasn't North Providence's responsibility, Narragansett Bay's responsibility. Then Narragansett Bay, thank God, sent me the contracts to show me that it is North Providence's responsibility. Took 1 year to get that little mess resolved. What I'm trying to say is, I will put a claim in for probably $9,900, but I will sit on your bloody doorstep until I get my money. Because I'm not going to go through what I did the last time. I will not. And I think you people really have a lot of nerve to put everyone on that street through this again. You Band-Aided it the last time, that's all you did. The pipes are going to keep breaking until you fix it once and for all. Now I've said my piece.
Well, now I can say my piece, because I'm actually trying to help you. What I was trying to say, before I was rudely interrupted, was, until we fix this problem at the town level and get the insurance rate, the deductible changed, this problem is going to continue to exist. I actually agree with you. You're 100% right. You should get paid. You shouldn't have to sue the town. You have to see what I go through every month, and the people that are on this claims committee with me. Right now, we probably have 10 to 15 sewer claims, all equaling $8,000 to $15,000. Our claims budget for the year is $25,000. So what would you like us to do? We're trying to help you. That's what you don't understand.
What I like to do is deal honestly, okay? We have a problem, we get it resolved. I fix the sewer, I bring my office building up to snuff, okay, where I can rent it or sell it, and I get reimbursed. I don't want it to last 2, 3, or 4 years. I may not be around.
Right.
God,
That's what should
God
happen.
willing, I am, but
And the other problem is, and I want to state this, when I talked to you years ago, we're not insurance adjusters. I can't go out and look at a property and say, this is, we have to go on the word that we're given from our DPW director.
Good.
So when our DPW director tells us it's Narragansett Bay Commission's fault, how am I supposed to know that it's not Narragansett Bay Commission's fault? I am not an insurance adjuster. This is the documentation we all on that committee receive. That is the word we're supposed to go by. And therein lies the problem.
okay.
Dan,
Understood.
one question.
Yes, sir.
Have you had your lateral line from inside your basement out cambered? Did you have your plumber come in and put the scope?
We had it checked out. Initially,
What's gonna happen, so you'll know, so you can be prepared, when the main line is replaced, if any of these businesses, the laterals, which is the homeowner's responsibilities, are not replaced, the surge of water is gonna come down, of wastewater is gonna come down, and it is going to jam your lines again, because the main line is clear now and flowing, and it's gonna clog up your lines, and you're gonna have this problem again.
so I need a plumber to come down,
You should have someone in your,
or
for your
construction
property,
person, to make sure,
camera it, to make sure that your line is clear and not full of clogs.
and I should do that before I clean up the sewage in the
I'd
basement.
make it all part of it,
Excellent
yeah.
point, thank you.
To document that you have,
Right.
put a camera through it to document on this date it was clear. So
And I
you
should-
have-
And you'll have the film.
That way they're saying it's not your fault.
Okay. So, okay, excellent advice, thank you.
I'm not a plumber, but I think there's something called a backflow valve also,
Right.
or a stop valve, and maybe to prevent, if something did happen, just as the councilmen were saying, if that's there, it prevents it from backing up if there's ever a problem in your lateral.
Very reasonable.
Additional protection.
But I have to say, Mr. Pinto, who was an engineer, spoke with Mr. Fossa, I was there, and Mr. Fossa asked him, this cannot be happening on our end. And Mr. Pinto said to him, quote unquote, it is your end. The pipe is broken, people are showering, flushing their toilets in the morning, the water and the crap has no place to go. So it's going under her building, under her property, and it's coming through her foundation, not through her flow line, her foundation. He is an engineer. Now, he said that to Mr. Fossa, it's documented, so I'm covered. It's your fault, not my fault.
Okay. When everything is done, to whom do I present? I present, first of all, when the work is done and I know it's completed, will you call me or my wife?
Yes, I will.
I'm sorry. To let us know it's done?
Yes.
And we can take the following steps, or the subsequent steps?
Yes,
Okay.
I will let you know. I
Okay.
know you also asked Mr. Carenti to give you a call when they were starting the digging, and, well, they didn't start the digging yet. All they did was make the cut, because the digging is what's predicating when it's going to be finished. So it would
Okay.
have about 4 days from the time of the digging. So that's why
Very
he didn't
good.
call you yet.
Very
So I will call you. If you would do me a favor on your way out, just give the Sergeant of Arms the phone number that I can reach you at, because I did call you the other day and no one called me back, but I think it was yours, Mr. Vaccaro, I left a message on.
Okay.
I'd rather have Mrs. Vaccaro's. Okay. Yeah, please do that. So, but, yeah.
Okay, I'm a
just to
dinosaur.
double check. So, but that's how you
But I'm
do it,
learning.
and we appreciate you coming in here.
Well, I appreciate you hearing us.
We apologize. We know that the town, unfortunately, this council has no control over fixing that pipe. The administration knows that the pipe was not good. The administration knows that they're responsible for that pipe, and they have to fix the pipe. So,
I know.
no, I understand. That's why I explained to you the process to go through, and that's
Okay.
what you're doing.
We will follow the proper procedures. If you let
Okay.
us know when the work is done, then we can take the subsequent steps
Okay,
to get everything reconciled or
Okay.
resolved. Okay?
all right.
So thank you
Sounds
for your
good.
time.
And we'll be in
And your
touch.
advice. Thank you.
Sorry for your inconvenience.
Have a good evening.
Okay,
And we
thank you.
apologize on the town's behalf.
Good
Hi,
evening.
My name is Kathleen Ritchie. This is my sister, Deborah Pezzatoro. We own
Is
Roma's...
it Catherine Ritchie?
Kathleen.
Kathleen Ritchie? Okay.
We own Roma's Tanning Villa and Get Nailed Hair on Mineral Spring Avenue. We have had the problem of the odors since June of 2009, and it ran into March of 2011. And thanks to Councilwoman Brady, it was somewhat resolved, more than it had been. We had contacted Narragansett Bay, Providence Water, DPW, and they just kept passing the buck. And then it seemed to be solved for a while, and then we started getting slight odors, and then come December of 2013, Richie's Construction across the street called us over. She had horrendous odors in her building. Come Valentine's Day 2014, we had both the sinks in both the tanning salon and the nail salon overflowing with raw sewage and water. When one would stop, the other would go, and then eventually all would go, and then we also had an overflow of our pedicure tub. It was a total disaster, back and forth with the town. We ended up a few days later, a week later, having to call Roto-Rooter, and we had that camera, and they said our laterals were fine, that it was indeed, a town's issue, that the pipes were cracked, the seepage was continuing, and then this whole thing culminated in June, I believe June 21st, about 5:45. I happened to look outside and see this hole in the middle of Mineral Spring Avenue, and a basically 3 by 3 foot sinkhole had appeared in about a 45-minute span, to the point that if you look down, it was the policeman said it was about 5 feet wide, 10 feet long, and how deep you couldn't even tell. It just went on forever and ever. Rhode Island DOT came and fixed it, but we've had 2 barrels impacting our driveway. First it was 4 barrels, then 2. Then they took 1 because a grate was sinking in front of on Mineral Spring Avenue in front of the parking lot of Mineral Spring Liquors. When they went to fix it, we found out from one of the business owners that underneath the parking lot was absolutely nothing, and that parking lot was ready to collapse. So this whole stretch from basically Twins Pizza all the way down to their properties, the Vaccaros, it's been going on since 2009, and we've been pretty patient. We have spent a fortune. We've, again, was told by DPW that this was our issue. We went so far as to call plumbers. We did the ultimate of tearing down walls between the 2 bathrooms and had plumbers go in to see if there was any leakage on our pipe. And we've spent thousands of dollars. We spent money with Roto-Rooter. We've never come before the council for a claim, and nor do we want to. But we just would like it fixed because it's impacted our business. We've had to shut down in many instances, especially that incident where we had the sewers overflowing. We've had to shut down operations for 2 days. So we really would appreciate it if something could get done to solve this problem once and for all.
Well, once the Vaccaros contacted me just about a month ago, I do have to say I called immediately. I responded to Mrs. Vaccaro on the Saturday, and on the Monday, it was just one step after another. It was almost a demand, and they got out there and
because we've dealt also with DEM and
I know
Councilman
it's
Brady
been,
will tell you.
I know when we originally got on the council, Councilwoman Brady did that, so it appears it's been ongoing, and I can just apologize for the inconvenience of it, and let's hope that this time when they fix it, they're fixing it to be whole.
Exactly.
So
Madam
Councilman Juicy has a
Yeah,
comment.
is your problem seeping up through the floor, or is it?
No, it's not. We don't have a basement. We're on a slab. So ours just has been, we've had horrendous odors for a period of June 2009 up until March of 2011, to the point that they were almost, Alex Pinto from DEM said they were pretty much toxic odors.
No, but what I'm asking is, how is it getting into your building? Is it seeping up
We had the one incident where it seeped, it was overflowing in the toilets.
in the toilet?
In the toilets, on both sides,
it's
and
back-
then the
it was back-
pedicure
it was
tub. Yeah.
coming
the-
up through,
Right.
yeah.
So, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And like I said, within a week or so, they should be out there digging, and hopefully the issue will be resolved. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 24 on the agenda, the Financial Audit Committee report, Town Council discussion and action with regard to the Financial Audit Committee reports to be presented by Councilman Lynch. Councilman
Yes, Madam
Lynch.
President, there's nothing to report out at this time.
Thank you. Item number 25, the Finance Committee report, council discussion and action with regard to the Finance Committee report to be presented by Councilman Lynch.
And again, there's nothing to report out at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 26, Town Council discussion and action with regard to the claims received from the following: Julie Latisa, 88B Nipmuc Trail, North Providence, and Ken Scotty, 23 Riverview Drive, North Providence. I'll entertain a motion to refer to the Claims Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady and Fiola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 27, Town Council discussion and action with regard to the appointment of Board Member John Donovan to the Tax Board of Review. Also received a letter from the North Providence Land Trust to appoint Teresa Mergener to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Tom Paglarini. The first one is the Board of Tax Review. Last month, we made a motion to appoint Mr. Donovan. Our acting clerk actually took a step further, and he looked to make sure that he was, according to the charter, a registered voter for 3 years. December 7th, 2011 is when he registered to vote in the town. So you'll see in your letters there, it actually says December 1st. We need to approve, or I'll entertain a motion that we appoint Mr. Donovan with the commencing date of December 7th, 2014, which satisfies the charter.
Second.
A motion has been made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The Land Trust appointment with the recommendation of Anthony Natale. I'll entertain a motion to appoint Teresa Mergener as the alternate to the Land Trust.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 28, tax abatements. Council discussion and action, possible vote concerning a list of tax abatements under $1,000 received by the acting tax assessor Janice Muscatelli. I'll entertain a motion to abate real estate for $1,441.71, motor vehicles to abate $9,115.76, and tangible abatements for $1,467.13.
Second.
A motion made by Councilman Warren and Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 29, tax addendas. Council discussion and action for a list of tax addendas received from Janice Muscatelli and the Board of Tax Review. I'll entertain a motion to approve the real estate addendas in the amount of $13,363.32, motor vehicle addendas for $8,286.05, tangible addendas for $460.78.
So moved.
Second.
A motion made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 30, tax abatement corresponding addendas. Discussion and possible vote concerning a list of abatements with corresponding addendas. I'll entertain a motion to abate motor vehicles for $797.93.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Audiello, seconded by Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 31, tax addenda with corresponding abatements. Discussion and vote concerning a list of addendas with corresponding abatements. I'll entertain a motion to approve motor vehicles for $409.02.
Second.
Motion made by Warren, seconded by Audiello. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 32, tax abatements over $1,000. Council action and possible vote. I'll entertain a motion to refer to the Finance Committee real estate abatements for $12,914.44. Motor vehicle abatements for $1,125.31. Intangible abatements for $6,778.81.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Audiello and Juicy, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 33. Item number 33, discussion and vote concerning the date change for the November regular council meeting due to a conflict with the town charter, 2-1-6A. Our clerk brought to the attention that our charter says if the regular council meeting is held on the day of election, that it would be immediately, the day immediately following, which would be the Wednesday after the day of election. Last month, we voted to, I believe it was to suspend our council rules so we could have it the following week in November. I don't know if the council wants to have it the following week or the day after, based on what the charter says
Following
and
week.
our council rules.
My suggestion would be following.
Yeah. Following week. I make a motion that we have it the following week.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
the issue was,
Hold on one second.
the clerk was obviously get advertised for the liquor license renewals. So the charter says that you're supposed to have a monthly meeting, regular monthly meeting, the first Tuesday every month. But the issue was last month, it seemed like everybody was in agreement that we wanted to have a meeting the following week. So I would think that if you hold the meeting the following week, a special meeting of the town council, not a regular monthly meeting, and you put everything down for that date, I still think the action you take would be legal. So,
In other words, call it a special meeting rather than a regular
we're
meeting.
gonna have a special meeting on November, whatever the date was last month, and we're gonna put everything for the month of November on that agenda then.
On that special meeting, yeah.
So,
Special meeting.
so
We're not
the,
gonna call it the regular monthly meeting. So, the issue would be is, where would the opposition be? What, we didn't have a regular monthly meeting, but we took care of everything at the
Correct.
meeting. So, if the clerk is right, he points out that technically that's what the charter says, so Joe's right on that. But if we take care of everything at the following week's meeting, we call it a special meeting, so we're not violating the charter by moving the monthly meeting a week later, now we're in violation. We're actually, you can have a special meeting, as we all know, either by corporate council president calling, or at least four of you agreeing to a special date. So if you agree to the special date, which we did last month, just do it again tonight, and the special date is the week after, and the clerk has some direction at that point to put everything down for that night, then we didn't hold a regular monthly meeting a week later than it should have been, we just held a special meeting a week later.
okay.
So I'm gonna make a motion
Do
that
we
we
have
have
the
a
date?
special meeting.
I don't
Okay.
know what the date was last month. 12? It was.
It was November 12th, which was the Wednesday?
Veterans Day is.
Okay, so there's the date for you to make the motion.
What's the date?
Wednesday, November 12th.
Okay. I make a motion that we have a special meeting on Wednesday, November 12th, 2014.
And that agenda will have all the monthly November business on that agenda.
Okay.
Excuse me, they're also gonna advertise for all the liquor licenses.
Well, I have that, wait. I have that on number 35,
Yeah, I know.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the motion is to have the special meeting on November 12th with the regular council items on it. Motion made by Councilman Juicy, seconded by Councilman Warren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And you should all know that Joe, the town clerk and I talked about this, and it's gonna put him a little under the gun because it's a week later for him to get the renewals process that you approved that week, but I applaud him for it. He's agreed to put the effort in.
Into December, you mean?
Yes, for December 1. Because obviously, the town clerk, they'll tell you, always has to chase people for all the necessary requirements, because they're gonna get all the stuff in Troy. But obviously, they're gonna roll up their sleeves and try to get it done in a couple of weeks. We are shortening them up a week though, so there's that.
Thank you. Item number 34, the Claims Committee report. Councilman Audiello.
Motion to accept the report is presented.
Second.
A motion's been made by Councilman Audiello, seconded by Councilwoman Brady. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. In item 35, the liquor licenses, our acting town clerk is requesting permission to advertise for our annual liquor license renewals for 2015 calendar year. The 2014 licenses expire on December 1st, 14. Advertisement is for the November, it says, it'll be for the November special meeting. So I'll entertain a motion to authorize the acting clerk to take the customary steps to advertise for the annual liquor licenses on November 12, 2014, for the renewals for the 2015 calendar year.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? The ayes have it. Who wants to motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.